By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to expect from Aeternum and whether it deserves a spot on your gaming list. So what exactly is New World Aeternum? Well, it's not a brand new game, nor is it a sequel or an expansion. Instead, it's a significant overhaul of the original New World, which was released exclusively on PC about 3 years ago. The game received mixed reviews at the time, but Amazon Games has been hard at work improving the game based on player feedback. And now, they've launched Aeternum, which not only brings significant improvements, but is also making its debut on Xbox and PlayStation consoles. First and foremost, it's an enhanced version that includes the Rise of the Angry Earth DLC. This adds new content, but more importantly, Aeternum promises a revamped storytelling experience. The dialogue, in-game cinematics, and cutscenes have been significantly improved to create a more immersive experience. And for those who enjoy solo play, you'll be happy to know the game has been tweaked to be more solo-friendly, addressing one of the original game's biggest criticisms. Now, let's talk about the story. In Aeternum, you start out as part of an expedition setting sail to discover the New World, a mysterious place rumored to be filled with treasures beyond imagination. However, things quickly take a turn for the worse, and you find yourself shipwrecked on the shores of Aeternum. It's a beautiful, lush island, full of vibrant wildlife. But don't let the beauty fool you. Aeternum is also home to a dark and corrupting force that has taken over many of your former comrades. And yes, it's also found its way into you. From here, your mission becomes clear. Survive the dangers of Aeternum, battle the corrupted creatures, and uncover the mysteries of this strange land. While the storyline is engaging enough to keep you invested, it's the setting and world building that really stand out. The game does a great job of making Aeternum feel alive with its detailed environments and atmospheric tone. But what about the gameplay? This is where Aeternum really shines. The combat system is action-packed and all about real-time mechanics. Every swing, shot, and block is directly controlled by the player, making positioning and timing key to survival. If you're a fan of responsive skill-based combat, you'll love this. You can choose from various weapon types, and your playstyle can vary depending on your choice. For example, opting for the Musketeer class lets you wield both a rapier and a musket. The rapier provides quick, fluid melee attacks, while the musket gives you a solid ranged option. Combat isn't just about spamming attacks though. You'll need to make use of stuns, heavy attacks, and dodges to stay ahead of your enemies. The skills system allows you to further customize your combat experience. For example, you can unlock skills that let you dash in for quick attacks, unleash a flurry of strikes, or even stun enemies to control the flow of battle. The musket, on the other hand, lets you deal damage from afar, and headshots come with bonuses that can turn the tide in your favor. One of the game's strengths is how well it balances its combat between PvE and PvP. Player versus player combat has always been a core part of New World, but in Aeternum, player versus environment content has received just as much attention. Whether you enjoy battling other players or prefer taking on AI-controlled enemies, there's something here for everyone. Outside of combat, exploration and crafting play a huge role in Aeternum. The world is filled with resources like trees, stones, plants, and more, all of which can be gathered and crafted into useful items. Crafting isn't just a side activity, it's crucial for survival. You'll need to craft food, equipment, and even set up camps, which serve as both crafting stations and respawn points. The world itself is vast, and there's always something to discover. Whether it's gathering resources, completing quests, or just exploring the landscape, Aeternum offers plenty of content to keep players engaged. And speaking of quests, the game mixes things up with a variety of objectives. While many of the early quests are simple fetch tasks, there are moments that stand out with more engaging challenges. As for the story quests, the fully voiced dialogue helps bring the world and its characters to life. The writing is generally solid, though it does have its quirks. You'll hear characters refer to each other as bastards more often than necessary, but it's part of the game's charm. The voice acting is decent, and some characters, like O'Malley, a pirate lady with a more Hallmark-style personality, add a light-hearted touch to the darker tone of the game. The quests themselves vary in quality. While some are straightforward, others do a good job of mixing things up, offering more than just simple fetch or kill objectives. There's also plenty of lore scattered around the world in the form of journals and notes, which provide a deeper look into Aeternum's history and the people who once lived there. So, is New World Aeternum worth playing? If you're a fan of action-packed MMOs with skill-based combat, immersive world building, and a good balance between solo and multiplayer content, then Aeternum is definitely worth checking out. The improvements Amazon Games has made over the original release are significant, and the addition of the Rise of the Angry Earth DLC brings even more content to the table. However, if you're not a fan of repetitive quests or PvP-heavy gameplay, the experience might start to feel a bit stale over time. That said, with its gorgeous visuals, responsive combat, and a world that begs to be explored, Aeternum has a lot to offer for those willing to dive in. Thanks for watching, and if this video helped you out, be sure to like and subscribe for more gaming reviews.